Excellent. Charlie, please pay attention. All right. Mine told me to say that. But you should also be paying attention. All right, today's date is the 17th of March 2023. We're in Algebra 1, third lesson of the unit. Here we go, multiplying polynomials. I just want to draw your attention to the difference between. You need your laptop over?
I was trying to search up the song. I was like my head and then
I want to talk about the difference between adding and subtracting versus multiplying. And will we get to division? Maybe. I kind of forgot this unit. It's been a while. So when you add and subtract, two things we need to remember. I'm going to probably just do bullet points. And then when we multiply, kind of the same two things. When we add and subtract, what do we do with the numbers out front? So for an example, I'll erase this in a sec. If I have something like 3x plus 4x, what do we do with these numbers out front? Wait, before I even ask that, what are these numbers out front called again? Shout out, you know it.
Coefficients.
Hey, let's go. Coefficients.
genius.
What do we do with the coefficients? Do we multiply them? We add and subtract the coefficients, right? We do the same word that I'm writing right here. We do that to the coefficients. So we are going to
It'll be 7x.
add / subtract the coefficients. And coefficients are specifically only talking about the number in front of the x. What if I change this problem to 3x squared and 4x squared to make it a little bit better of an example? What do we do with the powers? Don't change the powers. And then I guess we can do as a sub note. I mean, you don't really need this in today's note, but you already know this. One of the other bullet points is add like terms, right? Combine like terms. I don't want to say add like terms because you have to sometimes subtract. So I could say add and subtract like terms, or there's a word that means combine. Combine like terms. All right. What about when we multiply? What do we do with the coefficients? So now let's change this problem to 3x squared times 4x squared. And by the way, I think Grace gave us this answer. This one was 7x squared.
Oh, yeah.
What do we do when we are dealing with multiplication with the coefficients? Yeah, we're going to
12.
multiply coefficients. And we add the powers. So the powers in this case do change.
So
In this case, don't change. This one, they do change. And it is going to be 12x to the power of 4. Pretty straightforward. I don't even in Algebra 2, sometimes we need a refresher on this. All right, so here we go. This is going to be interesting. I'm really curious on how much you've already learned, and that will change the speed at which we do today's lesson. So, example 1. I think we're just doing examples for the rest of the class. Examples and then homework, and hopefully we finish homework and have no homework over the weekend. That'd be really cool, right? Example number 1. How do I do 3x? I'll make it a little bit tricky. 3x times negative 4x squared plus 8x plus 7.
Well, you do.
Well, you gotta distribute
in
that
parentheses
3x.
first, or distribute the 3x. Okay, that's right.
All right.
So 3 times 4 is 12, and
Negative
4 is
12.
Negative 12x to the
X.
power of 3.
Why 3? 2
Because
plus
it's one.
nothing is 2.
Because there's an invisible one right there, bro.
See, you guys can't be tricked anymore. You don't
Plus,
believe in
what's 3 times 8? 24.
Is it positive or negative 24?
Positive.
Positive 24. Let's hear
X to
from
the power of
Julian.
2.
Sorry.
X to the power of 2. Julian, can you explain why we got x to the power of 2? Yeah, so I add 1 plus nothing and I get 1. So why do we get 2? There's a hidden one about that x up there. Exactly. Good.
Plus 21x.
plus 21x to the power of what?
Nothing. Well, technically one, but you don't write it.
Guys,
See, we're too smart for this.
you have good teachers. I don't know. Good job.
I don't know. Maybe we did learn something.
All right. That's what I consider to be the basic example. It's usually when you just have one thing and you distribute it. Here comes something that I'm curious if we have learned or not. Maybe the answer is yes.
Let's see.
I visibly remember doing this on the whiteboard where we did a binomial times binomial. Let's see if you remember it still. Because we're going to go next level. That's the intermediate. We haven't done the advanced in this class ever. Example 2. This is like your intermediate example. What if I do something that looks like this? Let's change up our letters. Feeling like a Z. All right. I'll do M, but we'll do Z. So let's do a 2Z. I do my Z's with a little slash in them so you don't confuse them for 2's. If I was in college and I was a professor, I'd say 2 zeta minus 3 times the quantity of negative 5 zeta plus 7.
Okay.
That's how my professors always talk. They never said Z, they said zeta. All right.
Wait.
There's 2 things times 2 things. This was 1 thing times 3 things. There's still 4 things happening, but now it's 2 things times 2 things.
I assume you have to distribute both of the first 2 in the parentheses.
Yeah, so watch this.
Oh, I remember.
Distribute 2Z.
I remember doing this.
Distribute the 2Z. Did you know that 2Z times negative 5Z is a number that you're going to find out for me?
5 minus 2. It's times.
You do multiply. Because again,
Oh,
no operation in here means multiply. And it's going to be confusing on the test too, because I'm going to be mixing up things that have plus signs in the inside and things that have nothing on the inside. Remember, nothing on the inside means multiply. So it's going to be not just 10.
Negative.
Negative 10Z.
Oh, yeah, negative 10.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
We need to drop the parentheses. Oh, because
Something's wrong. Something's wrong.
I have to.
2.
Why is it squared?
because there's invisible ones. Why is there invisible ones? That's
Always.
No.
Okay. So what we just did was we did this. We did that one right there.
Yeah.
What we need to do now is this one right here.
14.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
So we're going to get a positive
14C, right?
14 zeta to the power of 1. So we
1,
just
yeah.
right.
And then you go to
Here, I need to make sure that I get here to everyone. Lynn,
I should
Lynn,
shut
you're doing
up.
this next one. Ready, set, retain, and be careful about this one. You
I
don't
do
do.
it.
A lot of people will make this mistake. They'll say 3 times negative 5z. That's incorrect. You're doing negative 3 times negative 5z. You always take the sign in front of it. So we're going to fill in negative 3 times negative 5z. Positive or negative? So it's going to be a negative times a negative. Good. So it's positive. Say it again. No, just 15. Say that. All right. You can say Z. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
And then let's give it to Aaron for the last one.
21 negative 20 plus minus
Yeah, plus or minus. I don't know. Why is it
Okay, I remember doing this in Miss Garcia's
negative
class.
negative 21. And then there's an additional step. But those kids in the Zoom, they haven't
Oh, yeah,
participated
they
yet.
haven't talked one bit.
Yeah, let's make sure that they're actually awake
But
over
we
there.
did these in Miss
We gotta-
Garcia's
You
class.
always combine like terms at the very end, right, Mia? Right, Charlie? One of you tell me what the like terms are and then actually combine.
You got 14Z and 15Z are like terms.
And adding them together gives you what, Charlie?
20 or wait, no. Yeah, 29Z.
Exactly. And I'm just gonna go ahead and rewrite everything else. We have a negative.
And that's our final answer because
Z
nothing
squared.
else is like terms.
That was a positive 29Z, and then we have a negative 21, and that is our final. Equal then box.
We did these in
That's
Miss
not
Garcia's
that
class. We at least did problems like this. I don't know about the very advanced ones.
Ready for the advanced ones?
No.
Yes, you are.
What happens
Yes,
if there's a plus?
Oh, before I go too fast, what happens if there's a plus? That's a great question.
or like a
If there's a plus there, you just combine like terms. Remember, plus in front of it. If there's a positive, you drop the parentheses, and then this problem would have turned into this is the hypothetical, this problem could have turned into, if there's a plus here, it would have turned into 2z minus 3 minus 5z plus 7. And then you'd combine like terms, you'd be like, u and u are the same, you get a negative 3z, and you'd say u and u are the same, and you get a positive 4.
And then wait, so if there's a negative, if there's a minus right there, would you just distribute the minus and drop the parentheses?
You distribute the minus and drop the plus, if it was a minus. Let me see if I can take that away. I'll say if addition, because I like that. If addition, that's what we do with it. All right. Oh, yeah. So I wanted to say this too. Some people have a special name for this. Some people call this method foiling. Is that what you guys learned as well?
I don't think so. I don't remember. What was the other name?
Foiling, I'll write it off to the side. F-O-I-L. That's what most Algebra 1 teachers use.
What does
And
it say foiling?
it says FOIL because you do this one. Isn't this the first term and the first term, and we multiply the first terms?
Yeah.
So you multiply the first terms, and then what do we do next? Then we did this term and this term, the outer terms. So you do the first, and then you do the, oh, I already did, no, outer. And then what do we do next? We did -3 times -5. So you do these inner terms,
First, outer, inner, last.
and then the last term.
Oh my God.
So a lot of people refer to this as foiling, but it's really just distribution. You just need to distribute as many times as you have terms in that
Yeah, I
first
think
one,
that's
right?
what Miss Garcia called it, distribution.
It's just fancy distribution. Like, let's do ultra fancy distribution. Ready, set, example 3.
Oh God.
Actually, like this.
Yeah, I like these. These are pretty.
All right.
I like when I understand.
Pretty
So you guys get to choose your own numbers. Choose your poison. How, like, if you want to be like 79, like you can choose that number if you want. Choose a number, Marley.
7.
7x squared. Choose a number, Aaron.
-24.
-24. Let's go. -24x. That's right. Choose a number.
50.
Plus. Oh my goodness. I love it. All right. Julian, choose a number. You say 10? 110. Let's go. We are gonna be ripped in here mathematically. Lynn, choose a number. -7. X. Mia, choose a number.
Like 70.
All right, there's our problem. Notice we are multiplying not two things by two things. By the way, this is called a linear binomial. We're not multiplying a linear binomial by a linear binomial anymore. We're multiplying a trinomial by a trinomial.
Why?
By the way, there were 2 terms here and 2 terms here, and that gave us 4 terms.
So we have to
If
just.
we have 3 terms and 3 terms, how many terms do you think we're gonna have before we combine the like
9.
terms? We have 9 terms.
What? Okay,
Well-
so what do we distribute in a?
So I will, there's a few ways to show how to do the work, but because you guys have been trained in the distribution method, I'm gonna just roll with that. I'm gonna do advanced distribution, and I'm gonna do it color coded to make it as easy as possible. I think Zoom kids can still see the color coding. Ready, set. I'm gonna do this one first.
Oh,
All right,
God.
shut them out.
Calculator.
No, you don't. Okay, look, you multiply 7 by each. 7 times 1, 7 times 1, 7 times 0.
770.
70 x to the power of
4.
4, because again, we
You
add.
add them. And 2 + 2 =
All
4.
right, I'm gonna keep saying with the red pattern, and then I'm gonna come right there.
Plus.
-49.
No.
To the third power.
Power of 3, good. And what will always happen every single time when you just do one distribution is these powers will always descend as long as these powers also descend. If I skip the power, if I went like from 3 to 1, then you'll also skip the power. But because these are descending in powers, these will also descend in power. So I know it goes 4, 3. The next one has to be a 2.
So plus 490x to the third power?
Very, very good, Grace. Plus, okay, sometimes again, I'm
490.
I'm catching up to you. Hold on, you're too fast. 7
490.
times 7 was the 49,
And
Add
that's
0.
0.
X
and
power
then we got
3.
the 0.
No, it's
It's about power of 2.
then there's
Two.
no
X
good.
And
Yeah,
there was no power here, so you just take
so
that.
it's 2.
So there's 2, and you can see that
Realize
that pattern I showed you is indeed true, 4, 3, 2. Okay, the way that I'm gonna show my work here is I'm going to drop down to the next line. So I'm gonna use this area down here, and I'm going to line up powers. If I see a power of 3 or an x power of 3, I'm gonna put it right here. That way it's really easy for me to add my like terms. I'm setting it up and showing my work too, because that was the first distribution, then I'm gonna do the second distribution, then the third distribution. Here I go. Now I'm going to use blue, and I'm going to go underneath. So I'm now taking, remember, I'm taking the negative in front of the 24, so not just the 24.
Gotta take the
All
side
right.
with it.
Hey, Sindel, I don't think 7 times 70 is 49. I'm pretty sure it's 490.
It is 490. Grace told me that, and I completely ignored her. But you guys can still log it if you want. 490 x squared. Anyone that caught that, log it.
I know this.
So me, yes, definitely log it. All right. From here, we are now doing negative 24x times 110, which I don't know off the top of my head. So I'm going to go over here on the side and do a little bit of math. You don't need a calculator to multiply this.
But I like it.
I mean, if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm not assessing whether or not you know how to do
I'll check
two-digit
your
times three-digit
work.
multiplication. Use a calculator if you really want to. I'm just too cool for school, so I'm gonna do 0, 4, 4, 0, 0, 2, 2, add 0, 4, 6,
I'll
2.
factor.
Oh boy! All right, so
That is correct.
I don't know where to write this thing. I'm gonna write it down here for now. 2, 6, 4, 0 x to some power,
And
and
it's
then
a negative power.
we got a power of 1 there. Let me write in the 1. So you don't get it.
Is it a negative or a positive?
Power of
I thought it was a negative.
It's x to the power of 3.
So it's gonna be, yeah, we need to do, it's a negative times a positive, which is a negative, and it's x to the power of 1 plus 2, which is 3. Okay, I know where to put this thing now. This is a power of 3. I'm gonna put it right under the other 3. You notice how I have these 3s in line
So then it matches up for when it's
when we combine like terms?
Yeah.
So I know I'm about
it's
to
the
add
common
like terms.
denominators.
All right, let's go ahead and continue on. All right, now I'm gonna do the next one. So the blue line is gonna come over here. I don't know that off the top of my head, so you know.
I think that one's harder than.
4 times 7,
7, 14,
so 28.
carry the 2, 7, 14. Yeah.
68, cool. So I'm gonna say this is gonna be, is it positive or negative? Positive, because it's a negative times a negative.
Equals a positive.
So it's a positive, and it's gonna, I mean,
X to the yeah. Squared.
168 x squared, which lines up underneath the x squared.
Perfect.
And then the next one goes like that. Hey, we just have to add a 0 to it. I like the fact, who chose a 70? Was that Mia?
Mia.
That was really smart. That made our life a little bit easier. All right, so then we have, just add a 0, and is it a positive or negative, guys? Shut it up.
Negative.
Why? Yeah, very nice, very nice. Sorry, we got a negative, same number, 168, but now with a 0. And what power of x do we have?
X to the power of 1. We don't write the
Oh, yeah, don't write that. Okay. Cool. We did all that distribution, and then I'm gonna use a different color. Does lime green show up differently? Yeah, that looks good. So I'm gonna take this positive 15x, and I'm going to distribute it into 110, which I don't know off the top of my head. So, so I have 110 times
Put it to 0, so it wouldn't have
15. Oh, you're right. Do you guys know the trick for 11s?
11.
You guys need to learn. You need to know this trick. Before I do this the long way, watch this. Did you know that
Oh, you just-
11 times 23 is the same thing as you put the 2 and the 3, you add 2 and 3 and get 5. So 11 times 23.
Oh,
is
yeah, I
15.
know this trick.
So how do I do 11 times 15? Well, that's going to be 1 and 5,
6.
6, and then because I have a 0 here,
You 1,000.
using your brains right there. You don't have to do this system. I mean, the system will work if you don't know what to do with the system. But I like using the tricks because you can do that problem then in your head. All right, so where's that problem going to go? It's going to be lime green, and it's going to be, I don't know where it's going to go. It's going to be 1650 x to the power of, help me out, help me out. I have a no, nothing there, and x squared there.
Oh, 2.
So it's going to be x squared, which
So
means
it's gonna go over the 168 x to the power of 2.
right there. I lined up, and notice all my x squareds, they all look really nice, nice and neat and tidy. All right, next, I'm going to distribute 15 times a negative 7x. I don't think there's a fancy way to do that that I know of.
35. You put the 5 down, carry the 3. 7, 8, 9, 10.
So
105.
35. I got 10, 5.
Ooh, I got
All right, is it a positive or a negative?
It is
Negative.
negative.
Negative 105, x to the power of 1. What is my next x going to be to the power of?
0.
You're not gonna
Zero.
have an
Which means Kylie took my so much thunder. Yes, no x for the next one. It's gonna be
You
fun.
don't have to write the 1 over the x.
You guys are on it today. It's a Friday, but you're on it.
I know the one day that we shouldn't be on it.
Well, I need to do more Friday math, I guess. What am I?
Yes.
x. No, you don't.
All right, and then last distribution, the 15 times the 70, which is really just adding the 0, right? So we have 105, which is our previous answer, and then we just add on our 0. And is it a positive or a negative?
Positive.
Positive. And notice everything's ready to add our like term. So sorry, you guys, you need to move. We need room.
Go away.
Go away. All right, time to add all of these things.
Oh, that's what I do.
So
So you're gonna bring down
770
the-
x to the power of 4 doesn't have any like term, so it's just gonna stay.
Yeah, you can bring down the 4th power. You can also, well, I guess you can wait to the end to do this.
Oh, these are both the same sign, which means we're gonna add them.
Yeah.
So I'm 49 plus 40 is 89, right?
That's a 2, 6.
This is the part that's probably gonna take.
Dude, that's why I was about to have it.
This one is gonna be an x squared, this one's gonna be an x, this one's gonna
You
be
can carry down the,
plus 1050. I did the hard part, 1050.
Yeah.
All right.
now we just need to do.
I don't wanna do this. Let's do that one last.
Yeah, that one's
Let's do this one. That one's easy.
Yeah.
Because the 100 gets added to the 600, turns into a 700, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're both. Let's make sure I'm going slow. These are both the same sign. Therefore, we add them.
So then it's gonna be
So we have negative is 1,780.
All right.
All right. Last digit. Ready? Is an 8.
Carry down, yeah.
Okay.
6,
They're not
8.
perfectly in line. I have 9,
11.
6, and 5 is
Oh,
20.
I wasn't adding up the top. I forgot
So
about the top.
look, the 6 and the 5 is
Yeah,
11.
it's 20.
11 and the
Yeah,
9 makes
20.
20. So I'm going to carry the 2.
And
Put
Put
the
the
0.
0.
Okay, look at all the hundreds places. I have the 2 and 4, 6, 7,
9, 10,
8.
11.
Careful. 6 plus 1 is the 7. What's 7 plus 6?
12. Yeah, okay, so
I got 13.
It's 13.
wait, 7. Oh, yeah.
So I'll carry the 1
I was
with
like,
the 3, and then look at all the thousands. No thousands, no thousands, yes thousands. Doesn't
So,
have to
True.
two.
2, and it's gonna be a positive. It's not a orange.
And we did it.
That is quite the answer.
Actually, we did pretty good with that.
I don't
Pretty
really like
nice. That's
Wow.
that's honestly harder than the one that you'll ever see on a quiz, a test, or homework check.
Really?
Yeah, my
We
numbers. I
pretty
got my
much
numbers
aced.
between 1 and 8.
And we did like 70.
Positive or negative. So between negative 8 and positive.
So we did
Negative
pretty
positive.
good.
Yeah, that was impressive. Cool.
Genius.
That concludes the notes for today. Really quickly, give me a fist of 5 on how well you think you can do even a really hard example.
I think I
I'm
can do
seeing
it.
a 5, a 5,
Yeah,
4 and a
yes.
half, 5, 4 and a half, 5, 5, 4. Mia, Charlie, where you at? Give me a verbal fist of 5 since I can't see you.
I'm like 4.5.
Yeah, I'm like a 4.5 too.
Excellent. All right.